Hello friends, good evening. Uh, so we have started with Newton's laws of motion in the last class, and I suppose everything is whatever I told was understood by you. I suppose so. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. So let me open the. Yeah. So what I have discussed so far, I think you can see it on the screen. Newton's laws of motion, first law I have discussed using carom board. I think you have got an idea that when you look at the striker, you can identify the forces acting on the striker at all the time. Before your finger touched, the forces acting was normal and mg. Okay, hello.
Yes, sir.
Huh. And once my finger started touching the striker, then there were three forces acting. Now I will use some terms. You start getting familiar with those terms. Okay? The mg force, I suppose you know what I mean. Mg force.
Yeah.
That is,
Yes, sir.
there was striker and there was force mg. See, I will start using this notation. It will be clearer to you. And then there is another force n, okay, j cap. So you can see that there is no acceleration along this direction. Neither the striker, because the striker is on the board. So there is no acceleration in the along the jth axis. Clear? See, the striker is neither accelerating in upward direction nor in downward direction. But there are two active forces acting on the striker. You have to appreciate that.
Yes,
So then we use the term called the balanced. Okay, that means now n bar is balanced by mg bar. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So n bar is balanced by mg bar. That is what is the term that we are using. So mathematically, see, whenever I say so, I am using words, English words, and English words are n bar is balanced by mg bar. The same English words, if I convert it into a math model, then it means mg bar plus n bar is equal to 0 bar.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
understood? So, if you want to state what is this in English, so you have to state like this. And if you want to state it mathematically, you will state like this. They are not two different things. They are the same things, but represented mathematically, and this is represented non-mathematically. Okay, right. The moment I apply force, that is my finger starts touching this. Okay, that is, so this becomes external force. Okay? The moment my finger starts touching it, what happens? As all of you know, it starts accelerating in this direction. Correct?
Yes.
Now, always you remember, acceleration is a consequence of what?
Net force.
Net force and mass. Correct? Net force and mass.
Yes.
Now, here you see this force is balanced by this force. Then this force is called what? Unbalanced force. Unbalanced force. Got it?
Yes.
Now, you see in this particular case, the only unbalanced force is F external bar. Okay? As a consequence of this only unbalanced force, you have got net acceleration. Okay? So this F external itself becomes F net bar, and as a consequence of F net bar, you have got A net bar. And A net bar will act in the direction of F net bar. Clear? Yes. So this is one aspect. The other way to look at it is, now you look at this body, you look at treated this body as a particle of mass m, as a particle of mass m, and you also look at the velocity vector associated with this. Okay, so when no force is acting, this velocity vector has value 0. And when force vector acts, this velocity vector undergoes a change. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So if you remember in the last class, I have said V bar of t. If I write V bar means it is understood it is V bar of t versus t. I showed it like this. Okay. So that means now till this point, that is, I will take this as delta t. For delta t, the external force was active, and once my finger stopped touching the striker, then the velocity vector remained constant. Okay? Hello?
Yes,
Yes. Yes. Now, if I multiply this velocity vector by mass of the striker, then this new quantity is called p bar. Matlab momentum. Right? So momentum is a vector, and this one, this graph that I have shown you now. Okay, what will happen to this graph? So this graph will have the same shape, but yes, you multiply it by m. This graph will have the same shape as I told, but if I multiply it by m, what will happen to this graph? If I multiply the velocity versus time graph of this carrom board experiment by the mass of the striker, what will happen?
It will be converted to momentum.
Okay, but what will happen to the graph means, yes, you have to tell me.
It will.
Yes,
The
please.
y-axis is magnified by a quantity we can.
Y-axis is modified. Yes, everybody participate. You tell me what all you feel. Don't worry, if it is wrong also, I will accept it. What happens to this graph? See, this is how your questions will be asked in the examination. So please try and answer. Think that yes, you are sitting in a wonderful classroom and your answers will take you to the next level. Assume that if, pardon?
Steeper. The graph will become steeper until delta.
That means it will become steeper in the sense you are telling this angle theta will change.
It will increase, yes, sir.
Okay, somebody else?
The nature of the graph won't change.
That is the first answer you should give. The shape of the graph will be the same. Okay, shape of the graph will be the same. That is the first answer that you should tell. Because you see, at this point, definitely the momentum will change during the time interval delta t. The momentum will change during the time delta t. After delta t, it will not change. Correct?
Yes.
As your friend has rightly pointed out, say you have taken some point here. Say that at this point the velocity is say v1, the speed is v1, and at this point if I multiply it by m, what will happen to this point? Everybody think and tell. You understood the graph, no? We are plotting each point. What will happen to that point? Will it be there only if I multiply it by m, or will it change?
So it will shift upwards and to the left.
It will change.
See, at this stage it will change is not sufficient. You have to tell me how it changes.
Vertically it moves up, it shifts upwards.
Okay, two students said it will move vertically up. Everybody will agree with them or you differ?
Agree.
All of you. See, either all of you agree, say yes sir we agree, or you say we disagree. I want 25 answers like that. All of you.
Agree. Agree, sir.
Agree, sir.
Agree, sir.
I suppose all the 27 students said agree. Nobody disagreed. See, this is where you see, I will tell you that you have only known. Because whatever I have written on the board, you have accepted it. But you have not applied your mind. Okay, you have not applied your mind here at all. Okay, so therefore you see that is a catch point. Now, if at all you are countered with this, how you have to think? M, what can be the possible values of M? What can be the possible values of M?
Constant, sir. Not change.
See, again, Sushant, you did not listen to the question. I did not ask you your abstraction. I asked you what are the possible values of M?
Yes.
What are the possible values of M?
Positive values. Positive values.
0 to infinity.
Somebody said 0 to infinity. Okay, gentlemen, we don't deal with infinity when we are taking into account measurable quantities. Okay, so if you say if the mass is infinite, then the body will not move only, the striker will not move also. If you do like this, if you push like this, if you do anything, if you kick with your leg also, it will not move. Understand? If it is infinite. Correct?
Yes, sir.
You can't kick a mountain, right? Right. So what are the possible values of M? Let us be realistic.
Finite.
Positive measurable values.
So now you see students, you have, when I say value, see now you have to pick the right answer. So the value of M here can be, yes, it is positive. Mass cannot be negative. It can be less than 1. M can be less than 1, less than or equal to 1. This is one possibility. Or let me write it. M can be equal to 1. M can be greater than 1. M can be less than 1.
Yes. Yes.
See, this is all. What happens in mains and NEET examination is this is all. They will give a graph. They will coin a question like how I have coined the question. They know your weakness because you don't apply science. You don't apply your mind. You all think that you are intelligent. So you try to answer intelligently, and one, you don't see everywhere. I mean, you don't see in all directions. You stick to yours one thing. Okay, and you don't dig yourself into the question. The examiner knows these weakness of the student, and that is why he asked you this question. See, if I had asked this question, all of you would have got negative marks. The students who had the ability, who are focused to learning, right? They will think like this. I am multiplying by M. Yes, it is positive value. Correct. Positive finite value. Correct. But then what are the values? M is equal to 1. If M is equal to 1, what will happen to the shape of the graph?
It will remain
Remains
constant.
It will remain same.
It will remain same. It doesn't change. If M is greater than 1, what happens to the
Theta will increase.
Yes, theta will increase, right? So this graph will be like this. Understood? And if M is less than 1,
Theta decrease.
understood? This is all.
Yes.
Yes.
NEET and main examinations are based on what you have learned from NCERT book. So this is what you have learned from NCERT book. But you see the question. So you see students, that is what I am trying to tell you, that analytical mindset, okay, that has to develop. Now let me tell you. See, when I was an engineering student, I developed the analytical mindset because I was matured enough. I was 19 years. So 19 years, 20 years, 21 years, yes, you're quite matured. You know what is the meaning of analytics. Okay, so you can think like that. But at your age, to think like that is difficult, but it is not impossible. So the difference between the students who conquer and who don't conquer is this difference. You must now have a mature mindset. You must be able to, your mindset, what it would have been 2 to 3 years from now, that mindset you should develop. Understood? That is the challenge. Teaching physics, teaching Newton's first law is just 1 hour, that's it. But you have to develop that mindset. That depends wholly on you. Understood? The more you concentrate, the more you are passionate to learn, the more you keep your mind and body free. Okay, the more you concentrate on why I am making you to think like that. Okay, and if you have faith in me, then this mindset will develop very fast in you. Understood? It is not there, but you will develop. So, questions asked like this, your mind should work like this. And that is how the questions are quite. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Fine. So, you see, with carom board itself, I can keep on proving. But it's okay. Let me not tax you too much. I will take you to the next level. Okay. So, what is the next level? Right. So, carom board. Now, I will ask you a question. What is force? What is force? Come on, tell me. Whatever you know about force, you tell.
An external agency which is the state of motion or the shape of the world.
Why are you telling external agency? What makes you to think you have to use the word external agency?
Because internal agency can't do anything, cannot do.
See, now if you take a string, okay. So if you take a string, okay. If you take a string, so there are molecules in the string. There are molecules in the string. They are bound to one another by what? By internal forces. So internal forces also are forces, right? So I did not ask you what is external force. Correct? Wait. First let me correct this gentleman. So you see, you are not again concentrating on the question. See, in school this was okay because your teacher, no, she used to correct it. He used to correct your question thinking and he used to make you to answer. And the same question was appearing in the examination. Now, no. Your teacher will not always be there with you to correct. There is a teacher in you. That teacher should always be active. There is a student in you that should be active. Right? So you see, when you are answering, you look at the words. You said in external force. Then your mind should think, what about internal force? They are also forces. Correct? Now tell me. What are forces? What is force?
Can I try?
Now what you should do, students, see, if you find this question very difficult to answer, you take paper and pen, and there are some key words that you have to use when you define force. Correct?
Yes.
Now, how do you identify those keywords? So you look at the world around you, wherever there are forces and wherever the forces are active, and then try to see, in this one, what is the force doing? In this, what is the force doing? In this, what is the force doing? Right? So like that, if you just look at different things around you, then you will see there are some keywords that are necessary to completely define force. Correct? So identify those keywords.
Can I try?
Tell me some. Yes, try.
A force is a vector quantity which can change the state of a body.
You think, you put your hand on your chest. Whatever lecture I gave just one minute ago, you have not captured my lecture at all. You did not at all pay attention to my lecture. You say, yes, I am ready with an answer, I want to answer. Gentlemen, you are answering only one part of the answer. You are telling force is responsible to change the state of motion. That is one activity of force. But that is not complete. See here there is force of interaction between the molecules. Is it changing the state of motion? So your answer is incomplete. Correct? And your definition did not account for internal forces. Yesterday I told you, sitting at the back seat of your car, if you push the front seat, what happens? If you come down of the car and then if you push the car, yes, the car moves. Correct? So you did not correlate with the real world. You have correlated with your whimsical world. Okay, come on. You have to get matured. You will get matured. Don't worry. You be with me. You be very positive. You be a good sports person. All of us have to accept defeat whenever there is defeat, and we have to now look forward to success. That sportsman spirit should not die in us. Right? So therefore, if you commit mistakes, it's okay. It's good that you are committing mistakes in my class. So the more the mistakes you commit, the more you learn. And you will not commit mistakes in the exams or on your real life. Okay, so classroom is the best place where students can commit mistakes genuinely. Genuine mistakes. See what my friend answered, force is responsible for the change of motion, is a genuine mistake. It is not a deliberate mistake. Yes, please.
So can I try this?
Yes. Wait. Now, apart from these familiar students who try, I want to hear somebody who is not familiar. Who is that?
Pratyush.
Pratyush tries. See, now who are the students who try? Srijan, Neela, Pratyush, okay, Om, right? These, yes, Shreyas Patke I like. Yes, other than these students who keep answering, others are. Yes, Shreyas Patke.
Sir, so force is either a push or pull, which changes the state of motion or rest, or tends to change the state of motion or rest.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So he says so.
Sir, I would like to add on something.
No, I have told you. You are not going, I am not going to edit it. Next time if you open your mouth, I am going to mute you. Just listen. Just you have to listen. 1 week, no answers from you. Yes, please. So here you see, I would have appreciated if your answers contained this also. See, there are two molecules. There is interaction. Isn't it? See, I already used the word interaction. Right? So you see, one of the most important things that you should know about force is that a body cannot apply force on itself. I cannot apply force on myself. Okay, you cannot say you slapped, sir, you applied force. No, don't take like that. Supposing you take this body. Okay, this body, if you keep it, it will be there only. If the body decides, oh, see, now imagine, I am standing on earth. That is why I am able to walk. Assume that I am standing far away in space, away from all the bodies in the universe. Away from all the bodies in the universe. I am there in space. Assume.
Yes, sir.
Can I move?
No, you can't.
You understand? I can't. I am able to move on earth because I kick the earth, earth kicks me. Is it clear? I am able to do it because I am kicking, earth is kicking. If there was no earth, so that's why I said. See now, look at the words that I've used. I am far away in space, okay, and I am the only body in space. Okay, so far away in space, I am the only body in space. I have mass here, or I can have even charge Q. That there is no other body around it. So what will happen to this particle? It will be there only.
Yes.
Now, supposing, say this is M1. Supposing, or this is Q1. Supposing in its vicinity, there is another particle or body of mass m2. Now what happens to m1?
So it is accelerated towards
Isn't it? Yeah, okay, okay, correct. It accelerates towards it, isn't it? So if this was not there, this would have been there. Why did it accelerate?
due to the gravitation on M2.
Ah, you used one word there. That is special to me. What is that word you used?
Gravitational force of attraction.
One more word you used? You used it.
On
Ah,
M1 due to
no, one more word you used.
Gravitational pull.
No, no, one more word.
Attraction.
Ah, interaction. You said attraction, not attraction. Interaction.
I said attraction.
Interaction is it? Interaction. You see this word now? Wherever there is interaction, there is force. See, you are hungry, you have jalebi in front of you. Right? There is interaction between you two. There is interaction between jalebi and you. You are hungry, you want to eat jalebi. That is also force. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes,
Huh. So the watchword is, see, when there is interaction, see, please appreciate, there should be interaction. Huh? Now, say you are hungry and there is jalebi in front of you and you will definitely feel like eating jalebi. You interact with jalebi. Huh. You are hungry and you see stone in front of you. You are hungry and you see stone in front of you. You don't interact with the stone. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, so one thing is for sure, there has to be interaction. Okay? Then you will talk about force. Correct? Then you will talk about force and measure that force and tell about the quality of force, etc. In fact, interaction itself is force. Correct?
Yes.
In fact, interaction itself is force. Okay? Okay. Interaction itself is force. You understand that. So therefore, students, what you have to know, appreciate when you are applying Newton's law is, when you have two bodies, right, then there has to be interaction. Now you see, I have two entities. Look at the word I am using. I said there are two entities. One entity has mass, okay? One entity has mass, right? One entity has mass and another entity has charge. What happens if I keep?
The second entity.
I have got one entity which has only charge. Charge is a property. And there is another entity which has only mass. What happens?
Nothing happens.
Why?
Because the first entity doesn't have charge, so it doesn't experience any interaction.
No. You have to use the right word here. Why? Why there is? What happens? Why nothing happens? So there are two properties. I want.
Interaction.
Yes, that is what you should say. A mass cannot interact with charge, right? Charge cannot interact. Okay. There is, so simple word is, no confusion whatsoever. There is no interaction between these two entities, and then there is no question of force. Understood? So if you see the world around you, some entities interact with some other entity. Some entities interact with some other entity. If it interacts, then we say there is force between the two. Okay? If it interacts, then there is force between the two. Understood? If it interacts, then we talk about force between the two, and then we develop the concept, the theory, and we measure that interaction in terms of force.
Yes.
See, Newton's law is so wonderful because let there be any type of interaction. Here, any type of interaction, and he says, okay, he means, when he was talking about this, Newton said, well, the particle which is interacting must be a material particle. Okay, it should be material particle. Okay, that means it should have inertial property. Understand? It should have inertial property, right? That is what. So therefore, in his law, you will see M coming into picture. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Huh.
Yes.
Huh. Now you see here, when I say inertial, okay, you have to know that it is not only M. It is not only M. Okay. See, there are different types of inertia. So what you see, M, it is the measure of the inertia. What inertia is this? The inertia, if I say this body has inertia, that means this body has a property to oppose the change of motion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I repeat,
Yes.
if I say this body has inertia, then I only say it has the property to oppose the change of motion. Now, for example, if there is a huge boulder, I apply force, it does not change the motion. How do I personify that and look at it? I personify means now I feel that material is going to talk. Material has, it can talk. So if the material has to do, if you have to engage the material here, it will say, well, I have a property to oppose any change of motion. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or look at it the other way. Inertia can be told in other way. What is that? Supposing the body is moving, right? The body is moving. That means there is no external force acting on the body. Then what happens? A body is in motion, no external force is acting. Then what is it? It is moving with
keeps on moving.
Now let us ask a question. What is that in that body? What is that in that body which preserves its motion, which preserves the velocity vector? It does not allow the velocity vector to change. What is that property in that? So the answer is yes, because of inertia.
K of inertia.
Got it? No. So inertia, one way to look at inertia is it opposes change of motion. Don't say it opposes motion. It opposes change of motion. Okay, it opposes the force which is trying to change the motion. And it is responsible to preserve the state of motion. Look at it the other way. You got it?
Yes, sir.
So look at it. Now, I will read out a sentence. If you want, you can write down. Have you got pen and paper?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, because this definition is very important. I am making you to write. So, first and foremost thing, in science, you have to be as clear as possible, so that there is no ambiguity and there is completeness, right? The concept of force is used to explain mutual interaction between two material bodies. I repeat, the concept of force is used to explain mutual interaction between two material bodies as the action of one body on another in the form of push or pull, which brings out or tries to bring out a change in the state of motion of the two bodies.
Can you repeat?
Can you repeat, sir?
Somebody has written it completely what I told? Nobody? Okay, because see, I asked this question because maybe in my speech, I have got to modulate my speech. Yeah, I repeat. The concept of force is used to explain mutual interaction between two material bodies as the action of one body on another in the form of push or pull, which brings out or tries to bring out a change in the state of motion of the two bodies. Full stop. A mutual interaction, the next sentence, a mutual interaction between the two bodies, comma, which creates a force on one body, comma, also creates a force on other body. Full stop. Force on a body under study is known as action, and the force applied by body on the other is known as reaction.
The last line can you repeat?
I repeat. Force on a body under study is known as action, and the force applied by this body on the other is known as reaction. Okay, I hope all of you have written. I asked, I hope all of you have written. Pardon?
Can you repeat it once more? This first one.
Okay, do one thing. Neela, you read out. I will know what you have not written. Then I can tell you.
The concept of force is used to explain mutual interaction between two material bodies, as the action of one body on another is a form of push or pull which brings out.
Or tries to bring out a change in the state of motion of the two bodies. Okay? I think the next sentence, somebody can read out?
Yes.
Yes, please.
A mutual interaction between two bodies which creates a force on one body also creates a force on another body. Force on a body under study is called as action, and the force applied by this body on another is called reaction.
I hope all of you got this.
Sir, a bit more slowly, sir.
The second sentence.
Which sentence?
Read the
Huh? Last sentence.
Can we read it slowly?
yes, sir, once.
Last sentence. I'll read. Force on body under study.
Sir, not that, sir. This happens a mutual interaction.
Yes. Okay. A mutual interaction between bodies, comma, which creates force on one body, comma, also creates force on other body. Okay, I think I'm done.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now you after the class you aram se look at these words here. See, you will see here a common word push or pull. Okay, that is one thing. Then you see that which brings out or tries to bring a change in motion. Is it clear? See, in the case of molecules, in the string, there is force between two molecules. These forces are trying to pull the two molecules closer, isn't it? The force between the two molecules, it tries to bring it closer, isn't it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
See, students, see, that's what I said. Physics is not in words. Physics is in action. Now see, supposing this is a glass surface. What is this? Glass. I have kept a drop of water on the glass. There is a drop of water on the glass. Can you see? This is what? What is this? Drop of water.
Yes.
Okay. Now what you do? You take a thin blade and cut this water. You take a thin blade and put it in this, in the drop of water, and try to move one part slightly like this. Got it? Okay. So what you will see? You will see one drop like this and another drop like this, and the knife is in between.
Yes.
You are doing happy birthday to me. You have just entered. So try to separate these two. Oh, I mean, one drop you make it into two drops. So now you will see one drop and you will see another drop. Correct?
Yes, sir.
See, I am showing the drop of water like this, man. The drop of water will be like this. Huh? So when you do like this and leave your hand, what will happen?
Again, they both will get united.
Yes, again they will unite. Again they will unite and become one drop.
Yes,
Correct? Huh. Huh. Now the same experiment you do like this. You make one drop and then you push the other drop slightly far away, like this. Okay? Now what happens?
They don't unite.
They don't unite.
Yes, sir.
See, these experiments are very, very, you now watch out these experiments. And these two drops, after they unite, it will become like this. It will not become like this.
Yes.
So what does it mean? It means now the two droplets, if they are very far off, out of range, then the force will not act.
Yes.
Force of interaction is gone. It has a range. All forces have range. You see the first chapter. Gravitational force has infinite range, but very weak force. Nuclear force, very strong force, but range is in femtometers.
Yes, sir.
I hope you know that, right? So look at this small experiment. If the droplets of water are pushed far away, there is no interaction. But if they are pushed slightly, then it is within the range of interaction, they will interact.
Yes, sir.
But they will interact means they cannot interact and become like this. So the nature is like this. It will allow the interaction, but when it comes very close, then it starts repelling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You please understand, no? All of you, right? Yes, it interacts, but when it comes to this close, it will attract. But if it comes still closer, it will start repelling.
Okay.
So this is what happens. You try with a drop of water. All of you try it with a drop of water and you will see this. Okay? Try it. Hey, what happened? Till 8:30, no, right? So you will see this happening. So now try to understand the nature of forces. So in this sentence, there is push or pull. You can see this example. There is also push, because if it comes very closer, the molecules will try to push. Okay, see this string only, no. If you see the string, the molecules are here. They are attracting. Somebody can ask a question, sir, it is attracting, why will this string which has got molecules, why if you say it is attracting, then the string should shrink. Correct?
Yes.
Nahi hota. Same thing, if you try to move it away, it will not move. So, that is why the word push or pull, which brings out or tries to bring out a change. Isn't it? Tries to bring out a change. You see every word, how nice it is. Okay, now you see, the watchword in the entire 3 sentences is mutual interaction. There has to be mutual interaction. Then only the concept of force will come into picture. Understood? You cannot simply apply force anywhere and everywhere that you want. So first establish there is mutual interaction. Then next thing comes. A mutual interaction between two bodies. What happens to the mutual interaction? It creates a force on one body. See, so beautiful is this. So force ka baap hai kaun? Mutual interaction.
Interaction. Yes.
So if there is force of interaction, creates a force on one body and also creates force on another body. The force on one body under study is known as action, and the force applied by this body and other body is known as reaction. This is known to you. See, now I have taken one body. Say now this is Earth. Okay, Earth of Marcia. So what is the force? Supposing only Earth. What is the force on Earth? Now don't think about Mars, Venus, Sun and all. There are no planets, there is no Sun. SUN. So what is the force on Earth?
Zero.
Zero. No. Now you see here. When you answer, what is the force on Earth? No force on Earth.
Zero. Yes. Yes.
See, understand. No, when you want to measure, then you use the numbers. Okay. See, numbers have to be interpreted. Understand? Numbers have to be interpreted. That interpretation is what is important to us. Numbers are not very important at this stage. So if you say there is no force, it is more meaningful than by saying that there is zero force. Is it clear?
Yes.
So you see, you have to now become extremely perfect now. Okay, because I am seeing all of you one day or many times in your life, you will be standing tall amongst the galaxy of scientists, galaxy of wonderful international people, and you are going to present a paper. So when you present a paper, every word is recorded, watched, and every word is debated. So you see, if you say, if you have work, the force on this is zero. Somebody will say, what do you mean zero? Because the value we assign, you got it? We have to identify the physical variable and we should assign the value. That comes next. Okay? So here you see, if you say there is no force acting, it is more meaningful than saying that there is zero force. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So there is no force acting on a. Now, so this is the body under consideration. Now, if I bring another body, say now another planet here. Now what happens? Now the first thing when another planet comes, there is interaction between the two. Got it?
Yes.
Now, what will this interaction do? That interaction will, because of this body, now this will create a force on this body. Okay, so this body will create a force on this body. And since this body, a force is created by this body on this body, though this body will create another force. Okay, so the force created by this body on this body, we call it as action, and the force created by this body on this body, we call it as reaction.
Yes.
That is what is given here. That is what is given here. Okay, now you have to understand this very carefully. So Newton's third law, if you ask somebody, if I ask you, what is Newton's third law? Yes, who wants to confidently tell me what is Newton's third law? Come on. Yes, Pratyush, tell.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Okay, now, is this sentence correct? Is this sentence correct? If supposing I ask you what is Newton's third law, he says every action has equal and opposite reaction. Come on, all of you think independently and tell, not just because you are in my class.
So can I add something to it?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes, please, tell.
So Newton's third law states that every action has equal and opposite reaction acting on two different bodies.
Two different bodies. Okay. Now you see, just you see, what meaning I can make out of this. You said bodies, that is good. Now what Pratyush told, I will make some comment on that. Pratyush told for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Correct now?
Yes.
Now you see, a dog bites you. A dog bites you. Action. So what is the reaction? You will bite the dog?
Yes, sir.
So you see, in physics, when you make a statement, the other person can mean whatever way he wants. So you have to make the statement such that the person has to mean the way you mean that sentence. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So now you be careful when you say Newton's third law.
So can I try, sir?
Yes, please.
So every action has an equal and opposite reaction for two bodies which interact with each other.
That is right. How did you get this statement, madam?
So like forces with the mutual interaction, sir.
Okay.
So if there's any body which is causing an action,
Yes.
the reaction has to be caused due to some sort of interaction with the other body.
Yes. So that is, see, now you see, what do you mean by body when you are learning Newton's law? When we say body, when you are learning Newton's law, it means materialistic bodies which does not have life.
Yes.
Is that clear? That should be clear to you. Okay, it should not have life. That is the first thing. Then you see, this is called. Therefore, you see, the moment I use the word body, that means yes, it comes within the framework of the study of mechanics. If I don't use the word body, that means I can also mean you and me, or any dog and cat. So that word is important. So first, see, that's what you see. The keywords are very important. So you have to use the keyword body, right? And you have to use the word mutual interaction. These things must come. There must be two bodies and there must be mutual interaction. Then,
Yes.
if one body is applying force on another body, then that body applies force on the first body. How much force? Same magnitude, but in opposite direction.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
See, students. You see, now come out of your school, In school, they gave you a statement because it was a prescribed textbook. You read that statement umpty number of times. See, there was first test, there was second test, there was quarterly exam, there was terminal exam, then the preliminary exam, there was final exam. So in all these examinations, you had the chapter. Understand? So again, in some schools, a weekly test. So supposing Newton's law was a chapter, in weekly test once you have written, in monthly test another time you have written, in quarterly test another time, terminal exam one more time, preliminary one more time, final exam one more time. So you would have answered the same question 5 times. Okay. So you see, you would have rehearsed those sentences. Whether you have understood or not, it's not. That was not very important. The sentence was there, it was right, and the teacher awarded marks to you. Correct. That is how the system is, and we have to respect it. But now nobody is going to ask you the definition. Or if they ask you also, you can define using your own words, but the meaning should be complete. So therefore, students, you make a strategy next time. If somebody asks you a definition, first thing is you write down the keywords. So the keywords in mechanics is, bodies, mutual interaction. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Bodies and mutual interaction. Okay? And then you see, Newton's third law, bodies, interaction, and it deals with if this applies this due to mutual interaction, if this applies so much force on this body, that body will also apply the same amount of force on the first body, but in opposite direction. So third law establishes this aspect of the interaction. Correct? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Huh.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
First law states, first law, what does it do? Well, it says if there is net force acting on the body, then what is the consequence? That is what the first law says.
Yes.
And what does the second law do? Second law will help you to measure the force. It will help you to measure this interaction. And how does it measure the interaction? It is very interesting. I will teach you. I think I have to stop the class today. I will teach you in the next class. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
See students, see, I am telling you no, Newton's first law itself, I have taught for nearly 8 hours or even more, but still so some students said, sir, tell us something more about Newton's first law. That is so much interesting, and there are so many small concepts, so many very concentrated words that starts interacting with one another, and it creates a beautiful subject called science, and it creates a beautiful theory which is so wonderful that you can apply it to so many phenomena around you. It explains so many things that are happening around you. It just doesn't explain. It makes you to measure. It makes you to predict. You will start believing in science. You will start believing in yourself. You will get that power that yes, I can now understand, explain, or I can create something. Okay, so that's how that's what is the that's what is this Newton's law about. It's very interesting. See, even though I have taught it umpteen number of times, every time I teach Newton's first law, I am so excited. In fact, from morning, I was thinking, oh, when will 7:30 happen? When will I teach? Okay. In fact, yesterday there was no class. I was feeling very jittery because I am very eager to teach this Newton's law. It is so interesting. So take my word, students. Learn like this. Don't worry about examinations, all those things. They come, they go. Okay, don't attach too much importance to all that. You just enjoy learning science and enjoy the beauty, enjoy the outcome of science. Okay, so tomorrow is Sunday, right?
Yes, Saturday.
Yes, Saturday.
Oh, sorry, Saturday. I'm sorry. Right, students. So tomorrow also we will have class at the same time.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. So tomorrow also we'll have class at the same time, and from 5th, I think all of you are in. Wait.